This is the grave of Louisiana's first governor, William C. Claiborne. He was born in Virginia around 1773, and he was governor of the territory of Orleans from 1803 to 1812, which was the year Louisiana became a state. From therefore, he became Louisiana's first governor and served until December 1816. The following month, of January 1817, he became a U.S. Senator, and therefore died at the end of November in 1817.
Now let's talk about the cemetery for a moment. This was originally a racetrack. It was known as Metairie Racecourse, designed in 1838, and then in 1872 became a cemetery and the final resting place of many, many citizens of the city of New Orleans. Some of them are more prominent than others. There's a couple of governors buried here, some Confederate generals, even some kings of Mardi Gras. And also included in that is the final resting place of some of my own ancestors, the Kinbergers. This is the grave of my mother's family, the Kinbergers. They came over from Germany in 1832, and they briefly settled here before moving up to Louisville, Kentucky. It was then, after a few years, in the mid to late 1840s, that my third great-grandfather, Francis Anthony Kinberger, came back to New Orleans with his younger brother, Lawrence. They opened up a grocery store, and that remained in the grocery store business until about the 1920s. As you can see here,
Franz Anton Kinberger. That's how you would say it in French, I guess. He died on June 12, 1869. He was 49 years old. And his wife, Mary Walsh, died on January 10th, 1900. She was 76. She died in a house on Magazine Street. She was a native of County Limerick, Ireland. They had 4 children. 3 of them lived to adulthood, and the youngest child, Francis William Kinberger, 1859 to 1932, is my great-great-grandfather.
Francis William Kinberger married Louise Gherkin. Her father was a native of Norway, and her mother was a native of Ireland. Francis and Louise had 5 children. 4 of them lived to adulthood. The youngest son and 4th child is my great-grandfather, John Charles Kinberger, born in 1894 and died in 1966. He was a veteran of World War I, served in the United States Navy. Later became a commercial artist and worked for the motion picture advertising company on Carondelet Street. He married Juanita Leona Munsterman, my great-grandmother. The only person I ever met that is buried here is my great-grandmother, Juanita Munsterman Kinberger. She was born in 1896. She was the daughter of Louis William Munsterman and Ernestine Miller. She died in February of 1979. I was just a little more than 4 years old. I do remember her. Whenever we would come to visit her on trips to her house on Marshall Post Street, which later became my grandparents' house, she looked very mean and very scary, so I was very reluctant to go give her a hug when I was a lad. So He was, yeah, she was scared.
This is one of the more interesting sites at Metairie Cemetery, the Brunswick tomb. Unfortunately, this beautiful tomb has been damaged a little bit. You can see the statue has lost some of its fingers. And the Sphinx here, it's a little crack in him. Looks like somebody put a Christmas tree on somebody's grave. You never know what you might see out here at Metairie Cemetery, or any cemetery here in New Orleans for that matter. And here we are at the gravesite of legendary musician Louis Prima. And if you're a Disney fan, you would recognize his voice as King Louis the Orangutan from the Jungle Book. Of course, he had other hits besides I Want to Be Like You, like Just a Gigolo and Angelina. But I also listened to his song that I enjoy very much called Shake Hands with Santa Claus. That's a good song.
This has been our trip to Metairie Cemetery. Join me for other voyages along the River Road and New Orleans proper. Thanks for watching.